What's barking, dog lovers? It's Zach from The Pampered Pup. In this fresh dog food price comparison, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to evaluate prices across 6 different brands on an apples-to-apples basis. I'm not going to use the dollars per day or dollars per week price that the brands give you after filling out their questionnaire. The reason is that they all tend to calculate your dog's nutritional requirements a little bit differently. Now, I have to come clean. When I first did this fresh dog food cost comparison, I made 2 mistakes, and our engineer brought this to my attention when I asked him to verify my numbers. He even went so far as to write a program to perform the calculations and remove the element of human errors like mine. So now I'm here to set the record straight. And I just want to mention that the prices in this video are before applying any discounts. If you do decide to choose any of these brands for your pup, make sure to use my links in the description of this video to get the best deal that I currently know of, and I'll always keep those links up to date. Now real quick before we see the numbers, I just want to go over our calculation method and the assumptions that we made in collecting these prices. All of this information was pulled directly from the websites from each brand, and all of them require you to fill out a questionnaire with the exception of a Pup Above. They give you the prices right in dollars per pound. For a Pup Above, we based the calculations on a 3-pound multi-pack. We found that's a similar amount of food and variety that you get with the other brands. After completing each brand's questionnaire, you'll receive a recommended meal plan with the portions per day and the cost per day. We calculated our prices using the following assumptions. First, the dog is a male Labrador Retriever weighing 73 pounds, and the dog is neutered, which makes me feel bad for the dog, but it's probably for the better. The dog's birthday is in January of 2018, and the dog has an active lifestyle, although not more than average. And finally, the dog has no allergies or sensitivities or anything like that. And for the purposes of this video, we're looking at the average price across 3 recipes from each brand. Typically that is beef, chicken, and turkey, although in the case of Spot and Tango, they don't offer chicken, so for them it's beef, turkey, and lamb. Alright, so let's see the results. The first way to look at it is on a dollars per pound basis, which I like because it's something tangible. That's how we buy food at the grocery store. It's also reasonably fair because the moisture contents in the food are relatively similar across brands. Or in other words, the amount of water that you're paying for doesn't vary much. So when we look at it this way, the cheapest is going to be Ollie. They come in at $5.44 per pound. Next we have Pet Plate, and they come in at $6.55 per pound. Farmer's Dog is $6.76 per pound, and Nom Nom is $7.04 per pound. So those 4 are pretty comparable. On the high end, we have Spot and Tango at $9.84 per pound, and a Pup Above at $12.66 per pound. So as you can see, those brands vary quite a bit. The next way to look at it is on a dollars per 1,000 kilocalories basis, or simply dollars per 1,000 calories with a capital C, like we're used to seeing on nutritional labels. I like this method because it shows the cost based on the amount of usable energy that each brand's recipes have to offer. When we look at it this way, Ollie is again the cheapest at $8.53 per 1,000 calories, followed again by Pet Plate at $10.42 per 1,000 calories. Next is the Farmer's Dog at $10.88 per 1,000 calories, and Nom Nom at $11.79 per 1,000 calories. And again on the higher side, we have Spot and Tango at $15.58 per 1,000 calories, and finally a Pup Above at $19.12 per 1,000 calories. So when we look at it on a dollars per 1,000 calories basis, the order is exactly the same as what we saw when we looked at it on a dollars per pound basis. This is why I still think that dollars per pound is a fair assessment, and it really makes sense in our minds as humans. And now for the third method of evaluating price, let's see how they compare on a dollars per 100 grams of protein basis. I like this method because it takes into account the fact that protein is usually the most expensive component in food, and while I'm certainly not a vet, so take this with a grain of salt, I'd guess that it's the most useful macronutrient for dogs. So when we look at it on a dollars per 100 grams of protein basis, Ollie is once again the cheapest at $12.11 per 100 grams of protein, followed this time by the Farmer's Dog at $15.21 per 100 grams of protein. Next we have Pet Plate at $15.95 per 100 grams of protein, and Spot and Tango at $17.64 per 100 grams of protein. So that changed up a little too. Then we have Nom Nom at $17.72 per 100 grams of protein, and finally again we have a Pup Above at $20.75 per 100 grams of protein. So however we look at it, Ollie is the cheapest and a Pup Above is the most expensive. Of course there are other things you should consider when buying fresh dog food. You should always think about which brand has the best macronutrient profile for your dog, and really your vet's going to be the best person to help you out here. You might also want to consider how each one of these fresh dog foods looks, how they smell, and how they taste. And lucky for you guys, I've done all this and I've actually tasted each one. And I'll leave a link to all of those videos in the description of this video here. Or you can just search YouTube for the brand name followed by The Pampered Pup, and it should pop right up. And I'll leave my review of the Farmer's Dog playing right here. And remember, if you choose any of these brands for your pup, make sure to use my links in the description of this video to get the best deals that I have access to. I'll always keep those up to date. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep those tails wagging.